Right.
Right? But we raise them to look people in the eye, to have conversation, not to look down, to give a firm handshake. You don't let my kids ain't growing up in my house. I'm raising them. Weeds grow. Weeds grow.
Yes, good.
You gotta raise
Man.
crops.
That's so good, dog. Wow.
Weeds are just grow.
Right. Right.
You feel me?
Oh, absolutely.
But you gotta raise crops. You gotta raise these children, which means there's gotta be a standard that they gotta know to live up to.
That's great.
Nathan was supposed to get up at 9 o'clock. At 9:17, he wasn't up. He owed me 50 burpees out the bed.
Yep.
Straight up. His brother had to watch and sit there and count them off. 50 burpees.
50 burpees is tough.
And you just woke up?
And you just woke up, like,
No time to warm up?
they're going to teach him to pop out.
I bet you when he gets up tomorrow, he'll be up at 9.
Correct.
Why? I'm raising kids.
Yes.
He turns in that phone at 9 p.m.
It's good, bro.
After he gets up, brushes his teeth, starts on his day, he can go get his phone. I don't mind. I set the password to that phone. I can pick up that phone anytime I want.
Yep.
We set up his social medias together. All of his social medias are shared with my accounts.
Yes.
He turns it in at 9 p.m. We never have to ask. Around 8:50, 8:55, he comes downstairs and puts it in our room on the charger. Not to be touched again until the next day. We're raising children. So when I'm in the presence of a young person, they can't look me in the eye, I'm like, eyes. My kids, your kids, anybody's kids. Eyes.
That's great, bro.
Look me in the eyes.
Yeah. That's great.
Hey, put your phone down.
Yeah.
Take it off the table. Put it under your thigh. We eating right now. Let's talk.
Man.
You can get back to your friends when we done here. We eating right now. Like it's not like the youth don't want to look people in the eye. They can't have a conversation. You haven't raised them to.
The blame shifting is crazy from the adults.
Absolutely. You are a culture setter, whether you ever say you are setting culture or not.
Right.
You can set a culture by what you say. You can also set a culture by what you don't say.
Boom.
You're setting culture either way. So you gotta communicate what you want. Then you gotta repeat it. 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 Oh my God. I'm tired of talking to you. How many times do I have to? Then you gotta repeat it. Then you gotta repeat it. How many times do I gotta tell you to clean your? Then you gotta repeat it. Then you gotta repeat it. A good parent is a good repeater. How many times does God repeat his law in the Old Testament?
So good.
And he's God. He didn't say it one time and then be like, I already told you. He kept repeating himself. How many times did Jesus repeat himself to his disciples? 3.5 years of repetition. It is pride for you to think, I can't believe I had to tell my kid more than one time. Their prefrontal cortex isn't fully baked until they're 25 years old.
Weren't the disciples also, most of them teenagers?
Most of them were teenagers or young adults.
So there you go, bro.
Repetition.
Yes.
It is the pride of the parent that thinks you're such a good communicator that you could say it once and all of a sudden they're just going to line up. A good parent repeats themselves all the time. All the time. All the time. And I'm not tired of repeating myself. You just can't get tired of talking.
And you love him that much.
I
to
love
do
him
it.
so much, I'm going to tell you again.
Yes.
I love you so much, I will tell you again and again and again and again
So good,
and
dude.
again and again
That's
and again and again and again. I will keep on saying this until you can say it back to me.
So good, bro.
So that's good parenting.
Yes.
That's good discipleship. We're to the point in this pod, people that've been our day one dwellers.